our study session this morning. We have a rather lengthy agenda today, and Diane and I both have other outside obligations, so we're going to try to click through this fairly quickly. A lot of receive and file items on there. Thank you to Amanda for getting those things caught up. We got the proposed road vacation hearing. Is that going to be pretty vanilla, Mike? I'm assuming?
I hope so, yes. I've actually,
You know, you never know.
you never know.
In all reality, it's just one big family, isn't it, that
Yeah.
goes back to their house?
Yeah.
Their house is, okay. It's been that way for my whole
That
life.
should be pretty
Yep.
Yeah. All
straightforward.
the same family.
Matt Meckel had contacted me, he's the executive director at Wildwood. They are trying to get the military to come in and do a project for them. And as part of that, they'd like a letter of support from the county, because they applied for this, and I said, well, do you have any more you can share with me? And he goes, yeah, you can come on out. And I said, well, do you got 10 minutes on Tuesday morning? So he's gonna do a little presentation.
Oh, great.
What does he want? Oh, we'll find out. Okay.
We'll find out. I talked to him for a couple minutes, and he wanted to run it by me, and I said, I'm interested. How about we
I
do a
didn't know the
presentation?
military did projects.
I didn't know they
Will they
did
do
either.
bridges?
I think this is a swimming
Seabees
pool,
do
and
bridges.
It's a pretty major project from what Matt told me, but I'll let him share that with
Okay.
you. County attorney resolution, this is the opioid settlement, right, Andrew? Just another document in that whole
Yeah,
process.
so new for, I think it's 4 or 5 new entities, CVS, they're listed at the top of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wage increase for Jason Back for longevity, that's pretty standard. Public hearing on April 11th for the Turning Point CBDG grant.
And we're just a pass.
We're just a pass-through on that. Hopefully this is the last time we can do that. I think our project been dragging on for a
I'm
while.
surprised it's taken so long. I don't understand.
Well, they came in high, they rebid it, they reapplied for more grant money.
I think every construction tends to.
There's a resolution to support the broadband intervention zone status that MCDG is heading. We agreed to fund up to the tune of $1,400, and they're wanting us to have a resolution of support on that, so that's pretty straightforward there.
I thought we already did that.
We
didn't
approved
do the
the funding, and I think, by doing that, you would think you would do that, but they wanted a formal
The actual,
resolution.
okay.
So,
And we didn't do that.
by funding them, I would think that means we support them.
Exactly. I thought so.
The next one is a resolution approving elderly service, or allowing elderly service to erect a walk-in freezer in part of the garage space that was previously occupied by EMS. We've talked about that. Just thought we should have a formal approval on that before they proceed with that. They're funding it, we're just allowing them to do that.
Quick question, they had a heater or something, and I think they've reached out to you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna go out and look at it.
Yeah, that'd be great if you want it.
It might be spent, but who knows?
Yeah.
Brady seemed to think it wasn't.
He didn't know for sure, and he said he'd work with you
Yeah,
guys
he
to see.
reached out to
Yeah,
us.
By the time you get it down, it might be spent.
Yeah,
might
we'll
be.
just see.
yeah.
So if you can use it, it's
Yeah,
yours.
Yeah.
If you can't,
Yeah.
no harm done. Approving the consult contract with the Earl Intensive Study for the historic register. Thought we'd already done that. This must be the next step in that. Does anybody know if Linda Smith is gonna be?
No, we had a meeting, I attended that historical preservation meeting. They had bid or different companies, and this is the final one, and that's what it is.
Okay. Approving setting the public hearing, budget hearing for Monday, April 17th at 6 p.m. here at the space. Pretty straightforward. Approving setting a public hearing for Tuesday, April 25th at 10 o'clock, which will be a regular meeting date for budget amendments. Anything to add to that, Shelley? It's mostly
Yeah.
shuffling around
It's just
rescue
some
plans.
cleanup stuff. The wages that were approved for the union members late in the year, it's fixing, it's catching those up. The Friends of the Courthouse need to spend that $75,000 that they got a grant for. So I need to do amendment for that expense. And then a couple departments had payouts.
Okay.
So I still have a couple of departments that I need to get with on that either have already done it or have because we'll likely need to amend the budget for that.
Okay, very good. Next resolution is the supervisor resolution to approve the salary adjustments for elected officials beginning July 1. And we also have a resolution to set the public hearing date for the hazardous pipeline ordinance. Did
Can
we
I
have
ask
Do we have a date on, what's the timing on that, Ryan?
So, we were looking at having, kind of discussion. We turn it over to you guys to look at and make any changes that you see needed. I know you reached out yesterday and thought about maybe a deadline or timeline for reclamation.
I do think if you don't, if there's no
So,
time.
depending, I think it kind of depends on how much you guys want to change the document, how we move forward.
I thought there was a timeline, they have to do it within 6 months or
I
something
didn't see
like
it.
that.
And did I miss it? I didn't see a timeline, and it was too open, and I thought if you don't have a date, they'll drag it out till never, maybe.
I thought I saw that, because I know you discussed it at that meeting I was at.
I did not find it, and I might have overlooked it. But
Because
I,
you're right, we need something like that, if that's.
because what Mike knows is, if you could quarry one bucket out and it's, you don't have to reclaim them, well, if they just fix one, I think it's dangerous. I think you need a timeline for that.
So where is it with your board then? They're looking for us to
That was
Okay,
my.
between-
Yeah, they made the recommendation to turn over basically what I sent you guys.
Okay.
And then, it's now in your hands, and you will move forward with that and make changes to it if you see
Okay.
fit. And then, my understanding is that you'll set the public hearing after you guys have finalized what you want for the final draft of it.
Yeah.
We'll have the public hearing and then.
All right, so the only thing I'm hearing is timeline on the remediation.
It's in here.
What is
It's
it?
on the last page.
Oh.
It
That's the very
says,
last thing in our packet.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's item B on the last page of the ordinance, page 11.
Very last page, I looked under it where it said reclamation. Okay,
Yeah,
so what was it?
Upon abandonment or discontinuance of use, the pipeline owner shall offer to each property owner the option to have the pipeline and all related facilities physically dismantled and removed, including both below and above ground facilities. The removal of the pipeline and the related reclamation costs shall be the pipeline company's responsibility and shall be completed within 180 days from the date of abandonment or discontinuance of use, unless the property owner agrees to extend the date of removal.
Why would the property owner,
If they're like in the middle of farming or something.
Or maybe they decided it does more damage to,
take it out?
Yeah,
take it
so
out, then
leaves
leave
it
it.
up to whoever owns the property and what they want, but they have to do it within 180 days for the county.
okay. Well, if that's in there, that seems to be a good question on it, so
That's-
what do we want to do for data? They have to have a hearing?
So our next,
Set our meetings.
yeah, so.
I'm okay with it,
Could
now
we-
that that's, I don't like that.
4/11, isn't that that's our next meeting,
Yeah.
isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah,
Do it
yeah,
then.
do we have time to publish?
Yeah, you have to do 10 days, not less than 10 days.
Well, I thought it was 4.
Is yours 4?
I thought it was 4.
I'm not sure.
10 to 20 days.
Yeah, not less than 10 and not more than 20.
But we don't have it ready to go in this week's paper, so we're not gonna hit the 10 days.
So we'll do the
Right.
next meeting?
Let's do it on the 25th then.
All right.
You don't think we'll make it this week's paper? Because all we have to
The
publish is
deadline's-
the hearing, we don't have to publish
Yeah.
the actual ordinance.
No,
It's just the hearing date.
But
we
we
have to
don't-
publish.
we generally would have that stuff in place before now because paper comes out tomorrow already.
Right, but if we
But we don't
just
have
did
it
an
placed to get
announcement.
to. I think we'd be pushing it. I'd rather not muck it up.
Yeah, don't.
Let's do it on April 25th. That gives us plenty of time to make sure it's published properly and,
That's the next
Okay.
regular meeting.
well, April 11th is our next regular
But then
meeting,
this
that's
is
a
the
little
next
tight.
one after.
So the reason why I'd like this sooner rather than later is because the legislative session ends April 30th. I'm trying to get this in so we have the opportunity of having things grandfathered.
Then, can you,
So,
At this point, there's nothing coming through Madison County anyway, so I think we'll be proactive enough on that.
well, the thing is that if there's, a lot of times when they pass new stuff like that, if they go with any ordinances that are in place on this effective date, they stand. Anything that comes after that are subject to the new rules. So my goal is to have our ordinance in before any new law gets signed. So that's why, you know, I understand the 10 days, we don't wanna push it because we need to dot our i's and cross our t's. But would you be open to having it maybe on the 18th when we do our
We are meeting on the 18th to approve budget, so I don't think we could do that.
I'm okay, do it the 18th and move on.
Okay. 418.
Is that okay with you, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next item on here would be approving the vacating of the alley in Hanley, so we'll have a hearing on that. There are 5 work agreements there. Anything noteworthy there? I'm gonna plan to lump those together.
Yeah,
unless you have a reason
that's
to.
fine, they're standard. There was a question on the James Van Rossen.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the water.
Yeah, they wrote some notes on there.
And then there was a cross out, and there was
Yeah, and
no
that's
initials.
common on that. But I sent an email to Andrew, he's gonna look at it. We can pull it from the agenda today if you want to.
I just wanna make sure, because that's a legally binding document between the two parties.
Yeah, it is, and it's common to have the landowner write something on there and scribble it across, whether it's right or not, I don't know.
Right.
But I ran through, I sent it to Andrew, he's gonna review it. If you would like to pull it from the agenda today, we can do it at another time.
I think we can approve it.
That's-
I do too.
Even though there's cross outs and writing on it, and there's no initials by those cross outs. Technically, when you alter a contract, it has to be, any changes have to be initialed by both parties and acknowledged. Otherwise, if there's ever litigation that calls into question what's agreed to.
But, you know, that's Andrew's call.
Does he
Maybe
have
It's
an
his call,
answer?
I'm just-
Maybe it'd be best, we can get it, we're not
Are
going
you like,
to,
in a
we're not
rush?
going to do it next week.
Okay.
So,
So-
there is time, but we just need to get comment from Andrew and go on.
That's the resolution M with Van Rosen.
Yes,
No.
VANROSSUN.
Yeah.
We'll just set it aside, take it out, and
All right, we'll take
wait
that
for
one out,
Andrew's
approve the
comment.
other, approve the other 4.
Sorry to interrupt, so did you say the 18th is when you're looking at
Yes.
doing that, and what time is that one?
B10, B.
Okay.
Well.
No,
when
it'll
did
be
we
have
set
to-
that? Because we have another meeting that day, don't we?
We have a
Is that at
construction
9?
meeting.
We have a construction meeting at 10, so it'd be at 9:30. Is that correct, Shelley? I think that's what we talked about. I have a board of supervisors meeting plugged in at 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would be at 9:30 on the 18th.
Okay, thank
So we'll
you.
be approving both that
The
and.
budget and
And
that.
that, okay.
And the hearing for that budget will be the night before, so
Right.
there will not be a
So
hearing
it'll be
for the
it'll be a
budget.
vote, and
Yeah.
then it'll be the,
So it'll just be your vote.
and the hearing.
Because the 17th is a budget hearing,
Yeah, I
and
don't
we'll approve at the 8, or
Yeah.
at 9:30, we'll approve it, and then we'll do, okay, we'll do
I
the
don't
pipeline.
see this ordinance being particularly contentious. So you're not seeing
No.
any, you're getting pushback
No,
from
there
anybody on
won't
this,
be.
are you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
If you read up on them, they're so dangerous.
All right, that should work. We have a couple liquor and wine license renewals. We've got some things under new business. One of them is township vacancies for a clerk in Madison Township and a trustee in Webster. Does anybody have any?
Do we reach out for those? Do you want us to?
Yeah, so it's to the point the trustees, have not been able to find anyone to take that position. So the code says it now falls to the supervisors to appoint
Okay.
someone. So if you guys know anybody, Heather, those are both your supervisor district, not that, but
Yeah.
if you guys know anybody in those areas, in those townships that would be willing to serve, if you reach out to them and see.
How often do they meet, do you know?
So they normally meet twice a year. The clerk position is a little more detailed, just because they prep the summary statement every year, so and write all the checks for lawn mowing and that kind of stuff, so that's a little more detailed than a trustee.
Okay.
But they meet twice a year, so it's not a huge time commitment.
Is it paid?
$25 a meeting, yeah, yeah, it's big money.
Do they get mileage?
Yeah.
Mileage?
You're not careful what you wish for.
There's an extra $50, isn't
Yeah,
there?
look at that.
I'm gonna be calling you.
That'll put me over my tax rate.
All right, well, why don't we all just kind of look at a plat map and see if we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
maybe find some,
Do you want us to
Prospects.
send you the names after we contact them?
Yeah, if you find people that are willing, yeah, send it
Okay.
to
You
us.
know I don't think we should go contacting, well,
You have to
you
ask
gotta,
them.
yeah, I know, yeah. I
And
don't
if they
wanna-
say yes,
Why don't,
then
I may be being optimistic, but maybe 2 people say yes, we have to really get serious about this.
I think we'll be all right. No, just
We'll
kidding.
be all right.
All right, so anybody finds the first volunteer, let the rest of us know, I guess, and we'll work on that. Human resources salary, and we're kind of not really in the meeting, but we're really, it's new business, we're not, and we have a tight agenda and a tight
Sure.
time frame, so I don't see any harm in talking about new business right now, because we're not making decisions. Am I wrong in thinking that?
it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got time, let's
So-
talk about it a little bit.
Yep, so the human resources salary, when we met, in the budget meeting, you guys had talked about 68.5 for that. I would like to push to have that, I'd really like to see it at 72.5. Reason being is Tessa is one of the lower paid department heads that we have in our county. And there are people that are not department heads that are currently making more than she does. So I would like to see her, she deals with a lot, she's a great resource for all of our employees. I have a state average for you, but the problem is, there's not a lot of counties that have an actual HR department. The state average is 87,126. That number is a little, it's a little skewed because a lot of the bigger counties are the ones that have the HR director, so.
But they have more than one, don't they?
Dallas makes $118,000, and so that's a hard number. Warren County, they're gonna be, that one's gonna be at 72,231.48, because she's up for a 3% cost of living increase, plus a 5% merit increase. I just don't think it's, right for Tessa to be paid less than a lot of the department heads that are already out there, so, I'd like to see her come up a little bit more in her wages. She does a lot, and we'd be screwed without her, so.
And was your proposal to do like a mid-year bump, maybe? or-
I mentioned that, yep, if, we wanted to do what you agreed on, the 68.5 to start the year, and then July 1, or maybe
January 1.
January 1, we give her a bump. I would be more than happy with that, and I think she would as well, just as a compromise, but I do think she deserves to be paid, for everything she does.
So Shelley's right, there's, the bigger counties are the ones that generally have HR heads. The only county that has, that's our size, that has an HR person of the six that are the same size as us, only Tama County has it. And, they have, let's see, 124 full-time employees, 20 part-time employees. Their population is 17, a little over 17,000, 24,000 parcels. And, that HR director gets paid 67.5.
That's Tama, that's a whole different.
That's not what I
But-
have.
But-
shows 83. I had
Are you looking at
83.
the new numbers?
I had
or-
the 2023 ISAC survey.
These are the numbers that the auditor gave me.
Oh.
Yeah,
I have
so,
83,994 on the ISAC survey for Tama.
Yeah, I don't know. These came directly from the auditors from those counties. I didn't use that. I used what the auditor sent me for that. So anyway, either way, there's really no example for counties our size other than that one.
Like we've talked, we have talked about proximity to
We do,
the
Tama's
metro
all
area as
different.
well. Shelley, why don't you bring forward a resolution at our next meeting?
Yeah, I can do that.
Big action. All right, board clerk job description.
It was okay.
I think it's fine.
So, it's fine.
When, my couple questions, I haven't posted it yet, I think we're all good with the updates and edits that I've made. We're good with part-time, and then what are you guys wanting to start that at, for pay-wise, did you guys,
I think you had 16s,
you wanna do 16?
yeah, 20 hours a week. What do you want to do with their hours? Let them, they have to be here on Tuesdays.
That's your
but-
guys' call, but
Well,
I also,
There's certain days that make sense, they have to
Yes.
be there to prep for meetings and whatnot.
Yes.
The rest of it, I think they can flex.
I
well,
think so
and I'm
too.
wondering if you guys wanna have, this was just my experience at Warren County, that was very hard for me when I worked under the board. It's like if I needed an answer or decision right then, like they couldn't technically make it unless it was in a public, you know, so I don't know if you guys wanna have a point person too for this,
Oh, for
clerk.
the
Like
person.
if there's ever an emergency in that moment, who is that person supposed to contact to get an answer if there's that
Typically, it would be
situation?
the board chair when you're talking about.
Yeah,
a
that's kind of what I'm
type of
thinking,
thing.
like if there's something that they need an immediate answer, which person are you wanting that person to call? I just want all those things kind of clear, and same with the expectation of that, you know, kind of explaining that dynamic of how the board works and so on and so forth. Cause it is confusing to have 3 different bosses and then, okay, where do I go, what time am I supposed to be here, when are you guys gonna be here, so.
I think Beth contacted you, that was
Yeah,
fine.
but, you know,
Yeah.
Beth would always
Okay.
contact me, and as far as, if anyone's asking about the timing, I think it's gotta be 4 hours on Thursday and 4 hours on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe all day Thursday,
Mhm.
all day Thursday and Tuesday morning,
On
and,
Thursday, why
you know, that gets you up to 12 hours.
Beth
and
always
flex-
it just
flex
worked to
hours.
get
So that's when
everything
you're
ready
prepping
so
that.
she could post.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
To
Oh,
prepare
okay.
agendas for Tuesday.
And sometimes she came in when it worked.
And she flexed too.
Yes, she did.
She did.
So I think if we offer that to whoever,
can
is that
work.
they have, you know, there's 2 days you definitely have to be here, and then the rest.
Just so they
can
get
just-
it done.
Yeah.
So $16 an hour, 20 hours a week is
Yeah.
what you guys are thinking?
Yeah,
And
and then
that
if someone
can-
asked, I would say 8 hours on Thursday and 4 on Tuesday morning. Sarah, is that probably the best time to have a staff?
But if they have children, we could let them flex that, you know, before the
We can-
Thursday.
We can cross that
We
bridge
do
when we
that.
come to it.
Depends
but-
who,
Yeah, who
And
it
then,
was.
how do you guys wanna do interviews? Do you guys wanna all be in on the interview, or do you wanna designate?
Yeah,
I think
one
we probably all
person?
We all need
Yeah.
to.
All, okay.
and that would be probably a closed meeting.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
have,
it'd have to
Well, they have the option.
be. They
have
can
the
say.
You open it up, the
Okay.
interview, you have the option to go to closed session.
So as I get candidates, I'm gonna send it to all 3 of you guys, and then at that point, you guys can respond to me individually, yes, no, and then we'll figure
Okay.
out who you guys wanna interview, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Does that
Sounds
work?
good. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
I'll get that posted today then.
All right, well, it looks like item 4 is probably something we should probably announce during our regular meeting, so let's pump the brakes on that. I think, anything else for our study session this morning? If not, we're gonna recess until, yes.
I would like to bring for the next regular board meeting that I'm gonna have to bring the 5-year secondary road construction program. I know it's been interesting this year with budgeting and getting all of that. It's due on the 15th, and we've kind of been waiting for things to get
Okay.
settled. So I'm gonna want to be able to present that to
Okay.
you at that meeting, and hopefully have 45 minutes, maybe
Okay.
a half hour of time there for that. So I'm finishing what we need to do on that.
So you're saying the 11th will be a long meeting?
I can make it as short as I can. I'll try not to.
I'm sure you'll be,
I can
I'm
be
sure you'll
witty.
be as concise as possible.
Okay, all right, I want to forewarn you.
All right.
I know there's been some changes with submittal dates on one side with counties, unfortunately. The Iowa Department of Transportation and the DOT regulations are still holding firm on the 15th. So,
Okay,
thank you.
all right, very good. Anything else for our study session? If not, we'll take a quick break until 10 o'clock.